Hello everyone, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Olalike Olakba, or you can just call me Peter Olalike Olakba. Is Senior Microsoft Dynamics CRM and ERP consultant, and also an MCT, which signifies the Microsoft Certified Trainer. So today I'm going to be putting you through the sales life cycle. And in my previous video, I made an introductory video about the Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales application. And today we're going to be going through the sales lifecycle, which cuts across getting a lead, converting that lead to an opportunity, creating a quote, and adding products to that particular opportunity, and also, creating invoices. And when the finance team approves the invoice, indicates that the invoice has been saved, and also how to convert leads to accounts and contacts as well. So join me as we go into the journey. Right, so this is my Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales application. I'm currently using the sales trial license, and if you want to, have the feel or the experience of this particular application to know if it fits into your business structure or your business process, what you can do is navigate to trials.dynamics.com. So trials.dynamics.com is going to give you a trial license for Dynamics 365 applications. But for today, we're going to be going through into sales, like I mentioned. So when you navigate to the trials.dynamics.com, all you're going to do is click on try for free. So clicking on try for free, as you can see, you start a Dynamics 365 for free that ranges across intelligent CRM and ERP business applications for a 30-day validity period. So that means it's going to get expired after 30 days, right? And when this page opens, we are going to see a whole variety of dynamics applications ranging from sales, customer service, field service, remote assist. We also have the HR, the fraud protection, and as well. So that's great. So we have the sales, we have the customer service, we have the field service. There's remote assist as well. There's business central and there's customer insights. So there are a whole bunch of applications that you can try to see how it works or fits into your business model and structure. So once that has been identified, right, you can just click on you know get started for free. And what I want you to understand is this would require you to have like an official email, a company email to back that up. So now let's delve into the environment proper. Now, so this is my Dynamics 365 sales trial environment, and this is the interface. On the left hand side, we have what we call the site maps. So the site maps has different functionalities or different features. So you can see my work dashboard and sales accelerator. So basically, the dashboard is just to show you an overview of maybe pending tasks or activities that are necessary for the user who is interacting with the system, in this case the sales representative, to finish up his tasks, work on his tasks, and the likes. We also have the sales accelerator here, but I'm going to skip that for a future video. And we also have like the activities group here, which contains the calendar, it contains tasks and phone calls as well. My internet is a bit slow, but then I'm just going to navigate through the various entities we have here. So all these details on the site maps are called entities, like we can see. So this is majorly the dashboard of the Dynamics 365 sales environment. So it shows us a whole bunch of work items, leads opened, and activities that are necessary for the sales representative to work with. Now we have the calendar. Calendar actually, you know, books all your schedules or arrange all your schedules for you, from appointments to phone calls made. So we can have this in like a read grid, right? So this is like the read grid. We can also have this in like a calendar view as well. So clicking it on the calendar view is going to give us like like a bird's eye view of the calendar structure on all the available schedules that are supposed to be attended to, most especially when you schedule like teams appointments, right? Everything's going to be detailed on your calendar. as you can see on my calendar here, I have like a follow up for a purchase which I created earlier on. So we're going to see how we're going to create all those activities as we proceed. We also have tax here, so your tax cut across some other activities, more like reaching out to customers, creating notes. We have various activities on the timeline of each of the forms. I'm going to be showing us a step-by-step guide on how to create these activities. Right, activities cut across emails, logging in, phone calls, and the likes. So we have phone calls activity here as well. So this is a disclaimer: you cannot make a phone call directly from the Microsoft Dynamics application, right? Either sales or customer service or omnichannel or whatever service you have or whatever applications you have licensed already. You cannot make phone calls directly. The only way you can make phone calls is to integrate a third-party solution, something like Udosoft right now. So you can integrate third-party solutions, with your Dynamics application, right? So with that integration being in place, right, sales representatives can actually, make calls from Dynamics with the aid of the third-party applications. So the calls here majorly is, scheduled calls, calls that are supposed to follow up with customers and the like. So I'm going to go to the pipeline, which has the leads, the opportunity, and the forecast feature or table as well. But for today, we're going to be going through, the leads and the opportunity, and also have customers where we have contacts and accounts, and there's learn where we have resources that you can surf on the internet to know more details about this. So the contacts are individuals who represent a company or individuals who actually work for a particular organization. So take for example, um, a company like 1691 Tech Solutions. Shout out to 1691 Tech Solutions. They provide me all my gadgets from laptops to consoles, games, just name it, right? So I, as Peter, can be a contact in 1691 solutions. Also, when you create leads, right, the leads, when you have the details of the leads like the name, the phone number, and the company, right, that particular company becomes an account while the name of the lead becomes a contact, right? Do you understand that? So contacts are individuals who represent a company or members of a company, while accounts are, organizations, associations, companies and entities and the like. So let's delve into this by creating, leads and converting them, putting them through the sales life cycle. The sales life cycle, which includes, from the leads, creating them as an opportunity, adding products and creating quotes, creating sales orders, then invoicing this particular leads that we got. So I'll hover onto the leads entity like I did on the sitemap, and I'll click on the new. So clicking on the new button right on the ribbon bar actually, opens the quick create form for the leads entity. And of course, I have various fields on this particular form. I have like the topic, I have budget amount, I have like purchase time frame, I have the lead source, and a whole bunch of personal information and contact details that are very necessary to this particular lead. So the topic of this particular lead could be maybe a lead interested in a particular product or service, or a lead you met in a particular maybe seminar or job fair, or those kinds of events, right? So in these situations, right, I can just say lead interested in purchase of an iPad. Let me just use an iPad, an AirPods, an airport, and let's just say the budget amount for this particular lead. After discussing with the lead at the event where I met him, he asked for maybe on the price of some of our items, and he says, okay, with your price is fair, I'd like to get about 10 pieces of those items, right? So I can just put the budget amount for this is like 150,000. So now next, what is the time frame for this particular, purchase? So this actually depends on the kind of interaction you had with this lead. If it's going to be an immediate purchase, right? We have those options in the multi of the option set field. We have immediate, we have this quarter, we have next quarter, we have this year, and we have unknown. So I'm going to go with immediate, right? So I've been able to convince this lead that he can make his purchase immediately, and I actually did that with giving him a discount to buy him over to the business. So we can do that as put it as immediate. So what or how was this lead sourced? So we have various options. We have advertisement, employee referral, external referral partners, different ways in which we can actually capture these leads. So I'm gonna go with seminar. There's a trade show as well. Okay, but I'm gonna go with a seminar. So I went for a seminar and I captured this lead, right? Awesome. So I put the first name of this lead. I put it as Ichako. Ichako. It's a very good friend of mine. I'm gonna put this last name as God's will. God's will. Awesome. So what is the job title of this particular lead? So let's say Ichako is like the CTO of a company called Rock of Ages. Of Ages. Great. So let's have like an email for our lead here. So his email is ichako at roa.com. ROA standing for Rock of Ages, basically. So we have a phone number. So I'm just gonna put a plus here, and we have the description, right? So, whatever you want to describe, I'm a big fan of putting descriptions as well. This makes some other users who want to have access to this record get a general overview of this particular lead. So I'll just put I met this lead at the just concluded seminar. Discuss with him. Discuss. Mind my spelling regarding discounted items. Awesome. So another feature which I didn't introduce us to here is called the scan business card feature. Very beautiful feature. However, for you to have access to this feature, you would need to have the AI builder license, which doesn't come with the trial environment. Anyways, so the way this scan business card works is when you get a business card of that lead and you take a picture of it and maybe upload it on your computer or whatever device you're using to access Microsoft Dynamics, you can just click on the scan business card feature, and I want to show you why it's not going to work in this particular case. So when I click on, I have like a demo business card here, and when I click on open, let's see what we get here. It's taking a little while to populate. So the way it works, it captures the name and the contact on that particular card and populates the necessary fields. But come here we are, you can see the notification error that we got here, which says you need an AI builder license to use this component. Start or extend the trial or contact your admin for so I don't upgrade. So obviously, this is not going to work for this situation, but I'm going to try to get the AI builder license in future videos and show us how the scan business card works. Right. So I'll save this up, save and close. Or if there are multiple leads you want to enter, you can click on the drop down and save and create new. So what that does is it's going to save this existing record and just immediately open a new lead form for us. But I'm going to save and close right now. Now, while this is saving, I mean, there are multiple ways to actually get leads from whatever events we actually attend. Most companies are in tune, not having manual processes like creating the leads and drafting those details down in CRM. They want to like be more efficient. So a more efficient way to actually have leads captured in your system might be to create like a Microsoft form, right? And have like Power Automate fetch those leads into CRM. So the way it works is when these users fill in this particular form, so let's call it like a KYC form or a lead form. Whenever they fill this form right through the Microsoft link or Microsoft Forms link, all those data rather are going to be funneled into the leads entity in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So there's not going to be any manual interventions at all. That's powered by Power Automate and Microsoft Forms. So in this situation where we have to, create a new record, right? This works for maybe walk-in customers, or maybe customers that sorry, leads, maybe walk-in leads, right? Or customers that reached the business or reached the sales rep via phone call. So that is why we would need manual intervention, right, for the sales representative to just create a new sales record and draft those leads in the system. Great. So now we have Ichako, God's will, who is interested in purchasing an iPad and AirPods with us. And it's beautiful to know that we can toggle to see the status reason for new and for opened or closed leads. We also have the flexibility of filtering through the created one, which is to say, okay, now I want to see my leads in a different order, maybe like older to newer or newer to older, and you can filter by and say, okay, filter by what particular function do you want. You either want to filter on or after a particular set date, or today or yesterday, or leads that were captured this week or this month, as the list goes on that way. So that's like capturing the leads in CRM. And I'll introduce us to the views. So the views is going to show us the list of the leads that are open, which have not been converted to opportunities or have not been qualified, because we have to be familiar with the dynamics terminology. So leads that have not been qualified to be opportunities then become open leads. We also have the flexibility of seeing the closed leads and all leads as well. So when I navigate to closed leads, that's going to be a totally different view already. So um, navigating to the closed leads, right, we can actually see like about five leads in our system, and we can see the status are not new, they are qualified, and this is because they are closed already. But we're actually interested in the open leads. So let me go back to the open leads, and I'll open this record I just created, this lead record, Ichako Godswill. So now, welcome to the lead form. So we have various sections on the lead form, and we're going to take it in steps so we understand the process of which the leads actually work. Now, on the leads form, I'll start by introducing us to the ribbon bar. On the ribbon bar, we have the save. Of course, when you update a particular field or feature on the leads form, it's always advisable to save, right? So you actually save that. If you want to delete this particular lead, of course, you have the privilege to delete that particular lead. You can qualify this lead. So qualifying this lead automatically creates a new opportunity. So what that is making us understand is this particular lead is now ready to do business with us. That is why it's called an opportunity. Now we have the sequence, right? We have the connect sequence, disqualify or assign. So of course, if this lead is not proceeding to do business with us, we can disqualify. But the sequence is also a very useful feature. So the sequence is more like a step-by-step approach through which a sales representative communicates to a lead. So in this situation, it could be a sequence could be created in different structures. So it could be that when a lead is actually created on the system, right, an automated email should be sent to that particular lead, probably welcoming the lead to the business. And after a duration of about 2 days, right, another email or a manual email can be sent to that particular lead, introducing the lead to more discounted offers that we have running in the business. And when that email has been sent, another process in that sequence could be, you know, the sales representative putting a phone call through that particular lead, and the list goes on and on. So there are different processes that could work in the sequence. So, for example, I think I created some sequence in the past. So I'm just going to show us an overview of what the sequence actually does. So when I click on the sequence right now, my expectation is to see sequences I've created in the past on the system. So let's see, connect lead to a sequence. So a lead can be connected to a sequence, and also a sequence can be connected to segments of leads. So that's a different topic that I'm going to discuss later in the video, but let's focus on this one right now. So I have YouTube content too, and I have 1691 sales funnel. Shout out to them once again, 1691 Tech Solutions. Thank you for giving me quality gadgets. So I created this sequence and I'll add it to that particular lead. So I'm going to connect it. So if you can see on the right hand side of my screen, when I selected the 1691 sales funnel, I have this structure here which says send an email, right? Thank you for being interested in us. Set a wait time for 2 days. So after this email has been sent, the sales representative will understand that he has to wait for 2 days to reach out to this customer again, or send another email. So this wait time is an action to wait and send an automated email, right, to actually sell amazing discounts that the business is currently running at the moment. Right after that automated email has been sent, the sales rep knows that he should make a phone call to that particular you know lead, right, to maybe follow up to see if he has received the email, if he's interested in discount offers that's available. So we have other sequence as well, right? So let me just connect to this sequence so we can know how this actually works in play. So when you select a sequence, you're going to assign it to yourself, or you can assign that sequence to another member or a team, right? So that's if you have like the privileges and security rules necessary, right? So I have that as the system admin, so I'm going to assign it to myself. So while the sequence is actually creating, so this is more like structuring all the setup we've configured in the up next section of the leads form. So on the leads form as well, we can see the sequence is being connected at the moment. So you can see up next, thank you for being interested in us. That's going to be an email that is going to be sent. Once this email is sent, you can mark it as complete. After waiting for a period of 2 days, there's going to be another automated email being sent to the customer, right, to list all the discounted offers that are available or currently running. Then after that, there's going to be a follow-up, which is a step 4. There's going to be a call customer for follow-up. So that'll be the duty of the sales representative. So there are various steps that can be structured, just a way of organizing your leads so they don't feel bugged. Because if I'm a lead and you're sending me emails like almost every day, I might just put you on spam and just not be interested in doing business with you, right? So that's why a sequence is very necessary, right? So on right just directly below the ribbon bar, we have the name of the lead, right, which we know is a Chaco Godswill. We have the type of form we are on, that's the lead form, the sales insights, right? And we have this lovely step-by-step process here: the qualify, the develop, the propose, and the close. So this is actually called a business process flow. So the business process flow is more like a step-by-step approach to which a sales rep is supposed to work with this lead, majorly putting this lead through a sales funnel so it gets converted into a customer, right? Basically, doing transaction with the business, right? So on the qualify step, right, we have various fields. So if this particular lead is an existing contact in the business, so let's say this lead has done business with us in the past, of course we can append that particular record to this particular lead form, so that dynamic CRM is not going to look at this as a duplicate, right? It's going to just um, encapsulate all these encapsulate this currently that we are on, and also the existing contact together. That's if they are the same, or if there's an existing contact on account. So there's also like a purchase time frame right, which we said was immediate, and there's also an estimated budget, which we valued for 150,000 naira. So the purchase process. So now, is this an individual or a committee on unknown? So either of those options that you feel that it's okay for you to fill in, right? For me, I'll go with individual. So identify this decision maker, so it's complete. If you capture the summary, that's fine. So if you observe on the next stage, which is develop and propose, you would see that there is like a lock icon. That's to tell you that this lead is not yet qualified, so you can't proceed to the next stage. So even if we say, you know, proceed to the next stage, we're not going to get that privilege to go through because an opportunity has not been created. This lead has not been qualified to be an opportunity. So you see, select an opportunity, no records found. So there's no records found. There's no opportunity records found, right, for this particular lead. Of course, a lot of people might just say, okay, fine, let me just create an opportunity. That works, but I mean, a more professional and best practice is to just click on the qualify button above here, and that sums it all. So let me just give us a brief summary on the details that we have on this form. We have the contact section. We have the up next. Up next is to show you your next available event or activity that you're supposed to attend to as a sales representative, and also contains the sequence as well. I've explained the sequence. We also have the whom know whom. This is not really a useful feature, but I'm going to give you more detailed explanation about this particular feature. So we have the lead score. We also have the assist. The assist notification shows you updates that are supposed to work on basically. We also have the timeline, a very useful feature, right? I'm going to be dedicating a video just for the timeline, and we'll see how that works as well. We also have relationship health and stakeholders. The stakeholders is actually empty because we've not qualified this particular lead. So when this lead is qualified, we're definitely going to see Ichako Gosville as a stakeholder of Rock of Ages company, right? So let's go to qualifying this lead. So I'm going to qualify this lead. Okay, so qualifying this lead, the system is actually processing this particular lead to be an opportunity, basically unlocking every field that is associated to an opportunity and letting us populate those values accordingly. So we can see that this lead was successfully qualified. And the beautiful thing about this is that once a lead is qualified, trust me, automatically Microsoft Dynamics is going to create that particular lead as a contact and an account, right? So now this lead is now qualified. You can see show that the box is checked, and we can move to the next stage, right? So which is the develop stage. So let's see what we have in a develop stage. So in the develop stage, right, we have to know what is the customer's need, basically about details about the customer's requirement, right, that will help the sales team identify the products or services that could meet the requirement of this customer. So I can just put customer is interested in purchasing an iPad and airport airport. Awesome. So, I mean, if there is a proposed solution to this, right, of course, we can detail this solution here as well. Although it's not a compulsory field, so if it's not necessary for your business process, you can obviously skip that. But I mean, for documentation purpose and audit purpose, I count it as best practice to always fill in these fields that are important for the business process. So, the proposed solution is to offer the customer a discount of 20%, right? That's 20% on the purchase. Awesome. So that has been documented down already. I can go to the next stage, which is the propose. But before I go to the next stage, right, I think I have those details down already. So before I go to the next stage, so we want to sell iPads and AirPods to this particular customer. Ideally, for me, what I love to do the most is to add the product that a particular customer is interested in, right? Then creating a quote. But if you can see, like the, you know, arrangement on this opportunity form, we can see the summary, relationship analytics, quotes, products, then related. But for me, I like to create products first before I create a quote. So it's also a very dynamic feature. I mean, the form. You can also reorganize these particular tabs here. So if the business process is about having the summary, then adding product, then quotations, of course you have the flexibility of, doing that as well. So now this is not the leads form anymore. If you can see on this side, we have like opportunity to make us understand that this is a different form. So we left the lead form now into the opportunity form. Now on the opportunity form is a totally different features available here. We can make this opportunity, we can close it as one, right? We can close it as lost, we can recalculate, we can delete, and we can assign. Of course, you would only have, if only you have the privilege to assign records to individuals or business units or teams, that is when you can use this feature. However, if you're not, you won't be able to use this particular feature. So the assign majorly makes someone else the owner of this opportunity or this record. If you can see at the top right here, Olaakwa Olaleke, right, is the owner of this record. Okay, and the account is Rock of Ages, right? There's no estimated close date. I can, detail that down. If you have like an estimated close date of this particular opportunity, I can just, select the estimated close date, estimated revenue. I can have that drafted down there as well. So on the opportunity form, right, we still have similar features in the list form. But for example, the key details, right, have changed. Now I have the topic here. I can now change this topic and just say, okay, iPad and airport purchase. iPad and airport purchase. This is strictly not compulsory. If it's okay for you to leave it that way, it's fine. But for me, I just like to, have different level of changes, so I can just go back and track where exactly is not going on fine. Now, we have the key details, which contains the time frame. I mean, we've explained that the currency, base currency is Nigerian naira. We have the budget amount. We have the phase process, which is going to be an individual. Of course, we have like the description I added earlier on. If there are current situations, of course, maybe when interacting with this particular customer, we came through some hiccups, or there were some challenges on the way, or while interacting with this customer, and we want maybe a team lead or somebody in a higher level in the organization to understand what's happening. Of course, we can detail that information there, or if there's any promises that we are made to this particular lead so it does business with us, of course we can also detail that information there. All right, and we also now we can see that while this lead was converted to an opportunity, it's made us to understand that the major stakeholder in this opportunity is Ichako, right? So that's a very great feature as well. So we have the relationship health, because there are no activities scheduled or interaction scheduled. That's why we have this red sign here, of course. So right now I'm going to proceed to adding product, and of course we have the timeline. So the timeline actually tracks various activities that are being engaged with this particular customer, right? So I can just say, okay, based on this opportunity, we want to have a meeting. So if I click on the plus icon, I clicked on meeting. So my expectation is for the quick create meeting form to open, and I have details here that are necessary to be filled. For example, the owner field is going to be auto populated as the user interacting with the system and engaging with that customer, right? And we have required attendees, which is the stakeholder, the leads in this case, which is Ichako. And if you want to have optional attendees or required attendees, like maybe my sales team lead can be added as well by clicking on the lookup icon. Also, what is the subject of this particular meeting? So, discussion on warranty of items So if this meeting is going to be like an on-site meeting, right, we can have the location of that particular meeting, created or detailed in the location field here. If it's going to be an online meeting, for example, Teams, and since we are on the Microsoft environment, right, it's necessary to use the Teams feature for having this engagement with the customer virtually. So we can just turn on the Teams meeting invite or Teams meeting feature on there and have the necessary details like the appointment details of start date, end date. If it's going to be an all day event, of course, the time is not going to be available anymore, right? We're just going to have the date, and if it's going to run for XYZ number of days, of course, we could have it detailed there as well. And we can also have description. As for me, I like to put in description. So we are to conclude on these items to be sold and also discuss around the warranty availability, warranty time, basically. Let me just around AROUND time frame. I think this is fine. Okay, awesome. So I can just save and close out. Of course, we can increase the priority level for this if it's high, if it's normal, if it's low. Of course, you can toggle in between however priority level you want. So I'm going to save and close this. And now we are going to have this meeting invite sent to the customer, and that's awesome because we have the email of this customer already. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 is automatically going to fetch that field and send an email to this customer, including the team link. Right, if you can see, it's going to add the Teams link as well. Right, so once the customer accepts the invite, of course it's going to get scheduled on the calendar. Shout out to Microsoft for making things more efficient, right? It's going to get scheduled on the calendar of this particular customer, right? And that is where we get to interact with the customer. So I'm going to minimize I'm going to bring like a more detailed video about the timeline, how it works, and how we can make our business and process flow more efficient, right? Most especially for audit purpose. So now we've had those details drafted down in the timeline, where we have a meeting invite sent to this particular customer. I can just save this again. I like to just double save my job, my work. And you can see the assist feature now is making us understand that there is one upcoming meeting, so you don't get to miss out on any appointments or any activity that is necessary for the sales rep. The sales rep doesn't get to miss out any appointment. Everything is structured in a way that there's going to be efficient sales flow with your leads opportunity. Now, great. So we're going to proceed to add products to this particular opportunity. So let's click on products or click on add products. So in the add products section, I have the airports here. So let's say the customer is interested in about five of these airports, and the price per unit for one is about 1,699 naira. And we have the add icon, so I can just add this. I don't have the iPad here. I didn't create that as a product, but I'll just take the airport Excel as an iPad. Right, I'll just detail that quantity to be about, let's say, on 10 pieces. Right, I just add that here, and I'll save to the opportunity. So this automatically adds the product to the opportunity, and anytime we create a quote, we wouldn't have to go through the stress of adding the product. Automatically, the system would identify that the product is already associated to this particular opportunity, right? Which actually makes a whole lot of sense. So the next item, the next flow into the sales funnel is to create a quote. So I will switch to the quote tab and click on new quotes. So clicking on new codes, right, is actually taking me to a whole different form, and it's going to definitely leave every of this process, the quote process, in draft state until we activate the quote, right? So now here we have the quote. The quote references, the quote ID. There's a revision ID. So the revision ID actually is a process whereby, yeah, apologies for the break in transmission. So, like I was mentioning about the revision ID, so the revision ID actually works in a way whereby when a quote is sent to a particular customer, and the customer has like a concern or wants some price changes or some modifications to be done on that quote, right, and tells us to do that, when the sales rep modifies that particular quotation, and that's going to be like a first revision, right? So this value of 0 here is going to increment by 1, and if there's still much back and forth regarding that same code, it keeps incrementing until it iterates to a particular number. So we have the owner. Of course, the owner can be changed on this particular quote as well. We have the name of the quote, and we have the currency. um, there's no price list for this. We also have shipping information as well, and payment terms too. So for the payment terms, of course, it's a very flexible system. If these particular options here do not fit into your payment terms, of course you can create more option sets and remove from what is not in this option set and replace whatever is suitable for your business process as well. We also have like the billing address details and billing address details majorly on the quote form as well. So we have the product section, like I mentioned earlier. There won't be any need for us to add products again, since we've already associated some products with this particular code. Now, the only reason why we would want to add products again is maybe the customer reached back to us and says, "Okay, guys, I want to add another product to this particular code." So that can be another reason why we can revise a particular code, not just modifying prices, right? We can also um, get quotes for the customer saying he wants additional product, and on the products subgrid or section, you can just click on this and you can see, or you can just add products as well, right? And we have the details and the amount. Now the beautiful thing about this is we can also detail some discounts here, either in percentage or in the numerical value, right? Sorry, in either in percentage or in amount value. So and if I want to, so I promised the customer about 20% discount. So if I detail 20% here, right, and I click out of this, I can see that when I save this record, my expectation is for the total amount to change, since there's going to be a discount. So let's see. So we can see that the total amount is changed now based on the 20% discount that was applied, right? So that's the same experience you're going to get when you have like an amount value in the second discount field. Awesome. So now that we are done with all these details on the code, the next thing to do is to activate this code. And that the reason why we're activating this code is because the reason why we're activating this code is because currently the code is in draft state. So we can't do anything on this code. The only thing you can do on this code right now is to export to PDF for this code, right? And to say that you want to have a view of how this code is going to look like, or you want to, print out this particular code and maybe send it as a hard copy to the customer. But I mean, we're in 2024, so why are we going to be sending a hard copy to the customer, except if it's just part of their business process? So and if you can see, the total amount is here. Effective dates, the from and the to has not been updated, so I can easily just do that by clicking on the drop down here, That's the drop down beside the status of the quote, and I can just say is effective from, let's say, today to next week Monday. Okay, so I'll save this again. Now, if you want to export to PDF, right, you can just easily click on this export to PDF button located on the ribbon bar, right? And once you click on that button, you're going to have like a dialog box that pops up to show you the various views of this particular code. So majorly how you want to view this code. Do you want to send like a more detailed quote to the customer, or you want to have like a quote summary? So I'm going to show us like the difference between two of them. uh, Whatever view you're satisfied with, I mean, that's fine. So I'll just click on download here, and let's see how the print quote for customer looks like. So we have these details. So this quote is sent to Rock of Ages. Dear customer, I'm sending you this quote regarding iPad and AirPods purchase. This quote is effective from this date to this date, right? So anything outside this date, the quote is invalid. And we have like the quote ID and the discount that was, connected to this particular total amount. And after there's no total tax, we didn't actually calculate the tax there, but you can see the discount was applied, and we have like the customer has to pay 10,000 based on the discount to promise the customer. And also we have more details about the product, the price per unit, the quantity, and the likes. Now let's take a look at the other view of the quote. That's the quote summary. So I'm going to download this, and I'm going to click this. So now we have the same the quote ID. It's not been revised. This is just the first one that we're going to send to the customer. We have the effective from and to date, and the salesperson who is in charge of this particular quote, and we have just basic description about the products that this customer is interested in. So that's great. So now that we've seen the different views of the kind of quotes that will be sent to this customer, so it's up to the sales rep to you know download which is necessary, or send which is necessary to the customer. So I'll close that for now. Now that we've seen how the PDF version of this code looks like, the next thing is to activate this code. Like I mentioned, this code at the moment is in draft state, so I'm going to click on activate code. So now this quote is now active, and we can see that the status has changed to active, and the quote is now in read only. So in read only means that you can only view, you can't modify anything anymore, because this is now an active quote. Now after a quote has been you know created and is active, the next process in the sales life cycle is to create like a purchase order, like create an order basically. So we're going to create the order by clicking on the create order button right here. So creating the order automatically means that this customer wants to do business with us. That's why we have this status reason as one. If I click on the drop down, I'm not going to see any other status again. This is one. So we're going to detail the date this was one. And if you want to close this opportunity, it's fine. If you want to leave it as open, it's okay by you. It depends on your business process, but there's no reason why you want to leave the opportunity as open, except we're not really sure that the customer is going to make some payment for the purchase of our service or product. So if you want to calculate actual revenue from quote, that's fine as well. And we just click on OK. Okay, great. So now the system has told us that the order has been created successfully. So the next approach is to say, okay, now that we've created this order, if we want to fulfill the order, of course we can fulfill the order. So you can fulfill the order, or you can just create an invoice directly. So creating this invoice, right, and sending it to the customer is to say, okay, now this is the total amount you're going to pay for the item you want to purchase from us, which is great. So this is the invoice form. If you can see, we are now on the invoice form here, and we have the invoice ID, the name of the item, and I can just modify it to say it's gonna be iPad and airport, or it's gonna be airport and airport XL that the customer is purchasing from us. Prices are locked, and if you want to have additional discounts, of course, you can proceed to have that as well. And every necessary field that needs to be filled can be filled. So now, at this point, the sales rep will have to pause because the finance team, right, can only authorize a payment that has been received by the customer. So let's say the payment has been received by the customer, and the sales rep gets a message on Teams to from the finance team saying, okay, fine, this particular customer, Rock of Ages, has finally made some payments. Then we can now proceed to check the invoice paid button to say, okay, now this has been finally completed and the customer has made some payment. So when I click on invoice paid, I can see I can mark that as complete, or if it's a partial payment, right, we can mark that as partial. So when I click on that as complete, and now that is going to be set as read only, and the record status is going to be paid. So if you can see, this is the total amount the customer paid after we discounted him 20%, and this is the paid status and the status reason. So um basically that's like the life cycle of the sales life cycle, right, from the leads up until creating invoices, and for a very good reason. Now, since we have converted that lead to an opportunity, right, Dynamics has already created that particular lead as a customer, since it's already an opportunity. That is even before we got to the quotes and the invoice, or the order stage and the invoice stage. So if we go to accounts now, we should see Rock of Ages appearing in the list of accounts, and we should see that a contact in Rock of Ages is actually Ichako. So when I scroll down to Rock of Ages right here and I open it, great. I can see a whole bunch of informations here from the account informations. If I want to update the phone number of this particular account, I can do that. But recall that we updated, or we added the phone number of a contact while creating the lead. So we can have this detail down here, and we can see the primary contact of Rock of Ages is actually Ichako, and that's why we have him as a contact here. And this is the beautiful thing about the timeline in the Microsoft Dynamics applications, right? It actually captures every step by step, activity that is in relation to a particular account. So from sending an email, right, for his interest, to scheduling the team's meeting, and creating an opportunity as well, marking the quote as one. If we revised that quotation, we are definitely going to be seeing those activities on the timeline as well. So I'm gonna be like creating a more detailed video about the timeline, so you can understand how this feature works. But then, thank you for watching my video. I hope you subscribe. Don't forget rather to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell to get more videos from your favorite guy, the Microsoft Dynamics 365 guy. Thank you everyone, man. Thanks guys. Bye.